Hey everyone, Shawn Sav Mu at your service, and today, if you look right next to us, you're going to see the first clip. We have a square club face with the chip, and then the second one, you notice it's an open face for a chip. Did you know that both of these will be going exactly in the same direction, and the open face will not affect direction in any way, shape, or form? That's really important for you to understand so that your flop shots, your bunker shots, and your open face chip shots come off without a hitch. You don't want to miss this one. But before we start, of course, we would love for you to take part in our channel. Please subscribe.
Please leave a comment down below and give us a thumbs up.
And hit the bell so you never miss any videos.
Good. So right now, my chipping action is moving in your direction. The face is only open like 5 degrees. Notice how that went exactly in the direction it was supposed to. Now, I'm going to do exactly everything the same, except I'm going to open 45 degrees. So most of you think that this is going to change the direction, but because it's a 60-degree club, even a 56-degree club will not change directions. So if I'm cutting the stem of the dandelion in that direction, notice that went right between Sav's legs on both occasions, okay? So this is really important for you to understand. So let's stretch this out a little bit and we'll show you what it looks like from a little further away. So I have an anthill here as an intermediate point to lead me, and there's a little break to that post. So I'm going to go right edge of this anthill and I'm going to go straight on. Everything's hanging from the shoulders. Notice the momentum of my swing is cutting the dandelion stem in that direction. You want to find out a little bit more about the full chipping, just go chipping Shawn Clement and it'll take you to all my chipping videos and you'll see how extremely consistent they are. Right now my task is to simply cut through this imaginary dandelion stem that way. The ball is right off my back foot, so here it is. Notice the direction that went in. It's right on the post. If I open the face, notice how open that is. Look at my direction. I'm cutting through the dandelion stem in that direction, and you'll see how very little effect it has on direction. So, intermediate point, ball back, open the face 45 degrees, cut through the dandelion stem that way. So you notice how nice and straight that's going. So let's have a look from down the line here with Sav. The anthill is right there. There's the intermediate point. Starting with your stock chip first. Awesome. All right.
So far.
And now super open. Do a couple of practice swings above your ball and just show them the direction. Excellent. Okay, so all that means is you took it a little too inside. And it's really, it's easy to take it too far inside when the face is that open. There it is. How good is that?
Little cutesy chip.
Exactly. So notice how it just took all the compression off the ball. It landed super soft like a butterfly with sore feet.
Yeah.
And then just trickled down to the hole.
Yeah.
So Moo's going to show you face on what that looks like. So Moo's doing it with a sand wedge just to show you that even with a 56-degree sand wedge, it has the same effect. Awesome. That's all right. That was a perfect execution on a chip. So now, if you were to open the face, that's it, a good 30 degrees. There you go. Now, same thing. Observe the blur above the ball. Go back and through without stopping. There you go. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Awesome. That's the key right there. Look at that.
Beautiful.
Hit the stick. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So when you see the blur of the club going over the ball, that's the direction of your cut through the dandelion stem.
Right.
And for those of you, imagine the leading edge of the club, imagine has little teeth on it. So when you're swinging through the imaginary dandelion stem, it's like you're sawing it from heel to toe, and that's what gives you a nice straight direction. If you go with where the club face is pointing, that's when you're going to push it like crazy out to the left. So let's look at now flop shot and bunker shot. All right. Now with the flop shot, it's a little different because we're getting a full swing out of it and we're activating the wrists in this shot. So now we're playing it just like a normal fade. The club is going to be in the center and the ball forward of the club. So now all I'm going to do is cut through the dandelion stem in the direction I want the ball to go. We have that little stake there on the green. You probably don't see it from that camera angle. I need an intermediate point here in front of the ball. You can use a leaf or another divot. You always want to have it no further than a foot in front of the ball. So right now that's going basically just left edge. So I'm just going to go over that leaf. There's where I'm going. Club in the center, ball forward, open the face. And now I know that if I just keep the momentum moving, can you see the blur now? Moving through the ball and over that intermediate point. Notice how the ball goes exactly in that direction. See my divot? So my divot went there, and notice how my ball is basically within a yard of that direction. And this is what's really going to help you execute these shots properly, because most people tend to open the face and then they open the stance until the face is square. By that time, you're way too far left with your alignment, and that's the main cause of so many issues with bunker shots and flop shots. So we got a special treat for you on the bunker today that you really don't want to miss. And this is going to be something that's going to help you tremendously with the image of bunker shots. We're actually going to toss sandbags out of the sand trap.
Oh, that's perfect. That's awesome.
Sav and Mu are my first guinea pigs on this one. I came up with this at 3 o'clock in the morning, like I usually come up with all my stuff, right? When I had a couple of bunker lessons that were a little bit difficult. Then I came up with this, and it's just absolutely fantastic. So notice while I'm doing that, we're always talking about taking a divot of sand and sending it onto the green with the sole of the club. So if I just run my hand along the surface of the water like this, and I wanted to spray some water towards somebody, the water would come easily out. We're doing exactly the same thing in the bunker. We're running the sole of the club along the surface of the bunker. We just add a little momentum to that. See how I'm sending a nice divot out there. So here's my divot of sand sitting right there. And Sav, you bring the camera over for a little close-up here. So if I'm, let's say, going in this direction, I open the face, club in the center, the sandbag forward, and now as I'm coming in, the club comes in, catches the sand, and it's moving sand. Notice how the bag and the sand come out at the same time? It's just that particular sand is contained. So look, if I put a little bit of momentum, see how the sandbag takes off? So all I got to do is figure out how much momentum do I need to land the bag of sand on the green where I want the ball to land. So let's have a look right here. See where that other ball is? Let's say that's where I want the ball to land. So I'm going to throw a divot of sand on top of that ball. There it is. That was perfect. Send a divot of sand and the bag onto the green. Wow, sweet. How about that? Wasn't that easy?
Yeah.
And then, imagine the ball is sitting on top of that bag. Actually, wait a second.
Uh-oh. I'm nervous. Uh-oh.
Send the sand and the bag up there. Awesome. See how easy that is? Moo, come and give it a try. Send a divot of sand, spray the ball that's on the green there with some sand.
Okay.
One more time. Use momentum. Use the weight of your arms. Yes.
Okay.
All right. There you go. Can you picture it in your mind what needs to happen here?
Yeah.
All right. How freaking good is that?
That was nice.
That was a bunker shot, everybody. Right?
Yeah.
Because now everybody's trying to put a ball up on the green, but when it's a sandbag, it's completely different, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
You just throw all of the sand, a little carpet of sand off the face, and which ends up being between the face of the club and the sandbag, and the sandbag just floats off on that cushion of sand.
That's right.
Fun, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Here it is.
Okay.
Can you picture that sandbag under the ball?
Yeah.
Send the sandbag out there. Awesome.
Nice.
Great bunker shot, man.
Thank you, Shawn.
Awesome.
That was fun.
Enjoy, everybody. See you next week.